Morning. How you guys? So I just thought I'd give, just a little chat this morning and see how you're doing. It's Sunday morning, the first day of December. And it kind of brings me to mind so much I have to be grateful for. Do you know, the first day of December was my sobriety date, is my sobriety date. A long, long time ago. And it's amazing that, 1st of December 1980. Isn't that crazy? I was my first, full sober day, and I never had to drink or use again since. I'm really active in the recovery program and have been pretty much ever since. I mean, what happened for me was, I woke up this morning, not this morning, but that morning, 39 years ago, and I had to change. I had to change. I couldn't go on the way I was. And if you've ever suffered from or been involved with addiction and alcoholism, you'll know what I'm talking about. I had kind of a crossroads moment, an epiphany, come to Jesus moment, kind of I knew I had to change. And I was, I was 25. and I had a little girl. Emily was 6 months old, and I was married. It's kind of like woke up that way. Oh my God, I'm married and I have a little girl. And looks like I'm going to be here for a while. As a kid, when I was, drinking and drugging and spent time on the street and stuff, I didn't think I was going to live a long time. I just, thought I would be here till maybe 18 or 21 or 25. I would only get to be about 25, I thought, for sure. No later, no more than that. So I didn't plan for a long trip. I was on the road trip called life, and I didn't plan for a long trip. But when I woke up married with a kid one day, I thought, holy shit, I am going to be here. I have to do something, and the first thing I needed to do was to sober up. And I had tried many times to quit drinking and using, many times, but, mostly I tried because I was tired of being in trouble. And I think this time I was really truly inspired to, realize that I had a job, and, being a dad and all of that. But being a dad wasn't enough. I had to find a new way of living, and I did. I found a way, what I call a spiritual path, and to live on, and I went from, being, grossly self-centered, and seeing the world as a place to serve me, to more God-centered and service-centered, and seeing the world as a place where I can serve. And that transition took some time, and it had to be integrated. Really, it's generally if things are if you feel like things are not going well in your life, mostly my experience after these almost 40 years is that because we're self-focused, and when we're self-focused, we're saying, what's in it for me? And what about me? And we're afraid of losing something, or afraid of not getting something, and so it's often fear-based. And so if life seems to be against you, it's because you've, I think, got it backwards. We didn't necessarily come here to get; we came here to give. And so it's kind of a new way of being, but it takes some time, and it isn't just like, don't just wake up one day and well, you can, but and just have a full psychic change. It does take some time and some work, and I think associating with people who live it that way, and there are places that you can go to be involved with people who live that way. So if you wake up and you're like, oh my God, another day, and have a list of complaints and things that are not working for you, and problems you've had in your life, and oh my God, this happened to me and that happened to me. Well, it's because, and it's hard to see, because we're not very conscious, and it's hard for us to see that we're actually self-centered. And we're not service-centered. We're not, how can I serve? And how can I look after my brother? And how can I look after my family? And how can I look, we're kind of, we're self-centered. And so I really encourage you to recognize that change has to happen for life to become more of an adventure. And because if we're, just a second, if we're playing a little music here at the same time. Nico, I like Nico Bear. I enjoy him on a Sunday morning. So, and we get practices. Like this morning, I've meditated, and some of this came to me, and I thought, I'd just share my, and for me, an amazing life I've had. Now, have I gotten rich? No. Have I had always great health? Pretty much, but, I've banged myself around quite a bit. But, for the most part, I've been able to serve. I have 3 wonderful kids, and I have 5 grandkids, and those are beautiful things for me. But the most thing is that I've had this connection with a supernatural, with a higher power, God as I understand Him, and which has lifted me up, into a higher vibration of life. So if you're dissatisfied, if you're thinking like, Jesus, how come life is treating me so bad? If you're dissatisfied, I encourage you to change the context of life from what's in it for me, to how can I serve Thee? And literally, I don't know if you're a praying person, but I've prayed many days and said, show me how to serve, show me where I can be the most effective, help me to do Thy will. And I see all that stuff as love. What is Thy will? Thy will is love. How can I be in loving service every day to my brother? How can I be in loving service every day to my brother? And it's not been an easy shift for me, because I'm inherently, in the cells of my being, seem to come onto this planet, this trip, in fear and trying to get my way. And so it's not, I've battled with this. It's been a struggle to just, wake up in a place of wanting to serve and being that server. So it seems to be that haven't found any other method to, actually have a peaceful life. If you're in service to a higher power, and let's just call that higher power love. If you're in service to love, and because love is an amazing context or concept for a higher power. If you're in service to love every day, how can I serve? Guess what? It's an amazing. It really is. It's the only way to live. It is the only way to live. And, but for me it was tough, because I had such visions of grandeur around money and success. And it's been, a struggle. Even though I've had these 39 years of sobriety, they haven't all been easy. And I've struggled with surrender and just letting go to be that servant to this higher power. And so I just throw that at you today. And if you want to talk about this, if you're living your life, if you feel, if you woke up this morning hungover, baby, often we use drugs or alcohol or sex or work to escape. And we're escaping this emptiness that we feel inside. We're escaping this, this feeling of loneliness. Addicts and alcoholics and are very lonely. I call it a feeling disease. And it seems that only this spiritual solution. Now, what is spiritual? It's it's hard to define. There's so much dogma around about spiritual. Even the New Age dogma is dogma, and mythology. But service and love are on the road always to completeness, to filling, to wholeness. And if you want to feel whole, if you want to feel complete, if you want to be able to go, this is the way. And if you want to hear the voice of what's next, meditate. If you'd like to, know, well, where's my spot? Where do I serve? How can I serve? And we serve with what's in front of us. And the message we're carrying is always a message of love. And so what's in front of you? Who's in front of you? And serve where you are. Um, it's our ego, grandiose, wants to sometimes have these big jobs, in service. And let's do the little jobs, and the big jobs will come. Right on. So my I'm in my home today, and we have all the stuff that I had left over from Valley and Beyond, and there's tons of it out today. So come for a visit, come to talk about this, come to get a hug, drop by today anytime and see us. We're going to kind of do this every weekend till now to Christmas, because even on the service side, and there's the practical, we still have to pay the rent and all that, right? So come and join us today. Love you guys so much, and thanks for listening. And I don't know, I've been doing a lot of these, and I hope it's of some service. If I'm anything, I'm an example that, and I was a street kid. I was a street kid in Toronto, a street kid in Vancouver in the 70s, and I didn't go to school. If I'm anything, I think I'm an example that, if we change our direction, and we can have an amazing life. And I've had an amazing life, and it ain't over. It isn't over. I think the best is yet to come. That's it. So spread the love. Tell somebody you love them. Hug them. Smile. Listen. Listening is so powerful. Be a good listener, right? With your spouse, with your kids. Just listen. It's such a great form of showing our love is listening. Okay. Love you guys. Drop me a note. Come see me. Give me a call. Love you. Bye.